Does monogamy actually work?
Do you have a low sex drive or you just don't like the sex with your husband? If Brad Pitt walks into this room right now and says he wants me and he desires me in my body and I look sexy as hell, I'll probably f*** him. So it's not the drive then, it's the person. There are a lot actually of monogamous couples at sex parties because they just want to go for vibes. It's all about communication and consent.
It's not seen as normal.
Okay.
It's not normal, is it?
So they're close-minded. I think love is infinite.
Cheating emotionally would upset me more.
So that's exactly what research found.
They know you as this very conservative girl, and now you're online telling everyone to have 5,000 orgasms every day.
Oh, I love an orgasm. I had one just before I came here.
This episode is brought to you by Lovable, an AI platform that honestly saved me so much time because I'm getting married this year and there is so much to do. One thing we kept putting off was a wedding website until I found Lovable. It's an AI tool that helps you build beautiful, functional websites or apps within minutes, literally by typing in prompts and sharing a few examples. That's it. No coding, no tech headaches, no expensive costs. I used Lovable to build our wedding website. I added a cover photo, updated the fonts, tweaked the RSVP section, and I was done and it looked amazing. Whilst I used it for our wedding, you can use it for a business, a project, a portfolio, literally anything. Some people have built businesses that now help them drive so much revenue. So if you've been putting off building your website or your app, try Lovable. It's fast, simple, and actually kind of fun. You can check it out for yourself. I'll leave the link in the show notes and you can start your free trial today. We grow up being sold one version of love. Meet the one, fall in love, and stay together forever. That's the dream, right? But what if that dream isn't working for everyone? In today's episode, I'm joined by Dr. Tara, a leading expert in sex and relationships, a professor, and someone who's deeply researched and lived the realities of love, heartbreak, and starting over. We're putting back the curtain on some of the biggest myths that we've been taught, from why divorce still feels like a failure, to whether monogamy is the only path to meaningful connection. We'll talk about the red flags that we often ignore, expectations we silently carry, and what it really means to build a relationship that reflects your values, not just society's. This isn't about being for or against monogamy. It's about asking the questions that most people are too scared to ask. And if you're listening to this, I already know something about you. You're not afraid to challenge the rules. You're curious, you're open-minded, and you're hungry to grow. So make sure you hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast, because the conversations we have here might just change the way you think about love forever. I'm so excited to bring you this episode. Let's get into it. Dr. Tara, welcome to Millennial Mind.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm very excited for you to change my mind today because this is a topic that I think a lot of people shy away from. It's one that has a lot of guilt and shame and stigma attached to it, and it's one that I actually want to talk about very openly today, which is, does monogamy actually work? Now, before we start the episode, just give people like a quick 1-minute rundown into everything you do, like a summary of your CV, basically.
Okay, a summary of my CV. Let's go. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Tara, and I am a sex and relationship expert. I wear 4 hats. First, I am a tenured professor at California State University, Fullerton. I teach human sexuality, and I write a textbook that's used across the United States on sexual communication research. Second, I am a social media sex positive influencer. So I make sex ed content and I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I also have a podcast. I really love doing that work because it allows me to reach the mass and particularly the younger generation, like Gen Zs that are now like dating and having sex. So that's been really great. Third, I am a media personality. So I have a radio show in LA called Loveline, which is an iconic show from the 90s that was brought back. And then I have my columns, Explore with Dr. Tara in Women's Health Magazine. And I'm the sex expert on the hit UK TV show called Celebs Go Dating. And then fourth, I am an entrepreneur. I run a sexual wellness business. This year, I have my book coming out, my lube line coming out called Drip.
Oh my gosh.
And I run a team of 7 and just really love being a boss bitch entrepreneur.
Maybe
Same
we
as
should-
you.
Maybe we should have done this podcast on productivity and how you manage your time, because that sounds absolutely insane, which
And
is
still
why
have multiple orgasms.
it's going to be a very uncomfortable podcast for me, by the way.
Great, I love pushing
but
it.
also good, because I think it's something that we also really need to start talking about.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your definition of monogamy and why you think it doesn't work in today's society.
So for me, monogamy in modern society is split into sexual monogamy and social monogamy. We can't take the scientific term from back in the days because that's only applied to animals. Right. When you think of animals that are monogamous, the way scientists use the term, it means that one animal has sex with one animal forever. But nowadays, like if you've been dating, 5 people, 8 people and had sex with them, you're no longer monogamous anyways. You've had sex with more than one person in this lifetime, right? So if we were to use that actual scientific definition, we're all wrong at using it. So let's talk about how do people accurately use it nowadays. They mean social and sexual monogamy. For me, social monogamy is viable. It is viable in long-term, loving, passionate relationship. Sexual monogamy is really hard. That is having sex with one person forever, right? And still have a passionate, fulfilling sex life, not compromising that part. I'm not saying that people can't be in non-monogamy, but I'm saying that only few people are in actual monogamy and are happy and fulfilled at the age of 50.
So, describe the difference to me again. Monogamy, I actually agree with you in the beginning, right? Like, we're not actually monogamous if we've been with multiple people. So that's really interesting, number one. But let's say me and my partner, for example, we are only with each other.
Right.
What you're saying, is that social monogamy or sexual monogamy?
So if you're only dating each other and committed to each other, that's social monogamy.
Okay.
If you are also sexually monogamous, then you won't have sex with anyone else at all, including not having like a threesome or going to a sex party.
Right.
So a lot of people that are quote unquote monogamous, right, that do like that have experimented with like threesomes, like inviting other people in. You're no longer monogamous.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. You're not monogamous if you do that. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. What you're saying is you think there's only a small percentage of people who are actually happy being with only their partner for the rest of their life.
Sexually.
Why? Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, there's so many big reasons. Like, first off, if you follow Esther Perel, she talks about this a lot, where there needs to be novelty and mystery in a relationship. But in long-term relationships, you no longer have novelty and mystery, and therefore you have lower and lower and lower sexual desire and drive for your partner. And that's already one key ingredient missing. The second one is people become complicit. Like they no longer put in effort to like try new things, look their best, try people put in their best foot forward when they're dating. But 10 years later, 15 years later, they act differently, right? And they become comfortable and complacent to one another. So that then sex becomes boring. Esther Perel likes to ask do you have a low sex drive or you just don't like the sex with your husband? And a lot of women will go, you know what? If Brad Pitt walks into this room right now and says he wants me and he desires me and my body and I look sexy as hell, I'll probably fuck him. Right? So it's not the drive then, it's the person. You're bored of your partner. Let's be honest. And I think that's where sexual monogamy not working comes in. That's my point is you can totally be in social monogamy because you can love one person, fall in love and love them and care for them for the rest of your life. But exploring sexually with others, I think it's just in our DNA.
Why do you think it's just in our DNA?
So for the longest time in the past, right, particularly males, it's all about spreading your seeds and making sure that the species survives and move forward, right? Survival of the fittest. If you look at this from a evolutionary psychology perspective, evolutionary psychology will say, well, having multiple people, having multiple partners, or having a lot of babies from different partners allow you to, put forward more offsprings, and therefore you're likely have a better chance to have a successful offspring because quantity, right?
Right.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't mean like, oh, everyone should be doing that. I'm just saying that for some people, they have now been sort of controlled by the narrative of traditional values and also religious values to only prioritize monogamy. And then they shut down other things. But then here's what happens. What happens is 50% divorce rate. What happens is 75% cheating rate. So we're not necessarily monogamous, are we? We say we are, but
we're cheating.
Half the people are not, or a third of the people are not, because they're okay with being in a monogamous relationship or marriage, but then like they end up cheating on their partners anyway, or get a happy ending massage, or emotionally cheating with someone through DMs, right? Like liking all these girls' photos. I mean, there's many forms of infidelity, and it's happening everywhere. So to me, it's like, why not be honest?
But is infidelity not, there's like not an element of it being like naughty and, secretive, which kind of draws you to it? Maybe it's not just the sexual part that draws people to it as well. Do you see what I mean?
What draws people into infidelity? People think it's because it's the secret part, but you know what? The truth is, all my clients that have cheated on their partners that come to me for therapy, for sex therapy or relationship, is that they are ashamed. They feel a lot of guilt and they can't tell anyone, can't tell their friends, so they come to me and they're like, I'm like, what's been going on? Like, well, I've just been seeing this girl, they feel like shit. Most people that cheat, unless they're like sociopath, most people that cheat don't want to. Most people that cheat feel like shit. And that's just the truth. That's the truth I've been observing, as well as like research has been observing. The reason why people stray out of their monogamy is that they want to feel alive. They want to feel desired. In a long-term complacent relationship, people no longer show that they desire their partner. When was the last time, if you were in a relationship for 10 years, when was the last time you told your partner, I want you, like I really want you, I want you inside me, like you're, things like that. They just want to be wanted and desired, because that's like basic human instinct, isn't it? It allows you to feel valued.
Do you think monogamy is something that we've been conditioned to believe is true?
100%.
We're not actually monogamous and no one has ever really been. It's just like a fantasy that we're creating in our heads.
Yeah.
But why? Why, if we think back to like our ancestors, right? They used to cheat. If we think back to like to anyone, like the royals, anyone, even online,
they've always done it.
Everyone's always cheated and it's never been like a bad thing. So why is monogamy still the desired state then, if it's just like a pile of rubbish?
Yeah, hundreds of years of conditioning through religion. So when I teach this class at the university, we talk about where monogamy and the idea comes from. Because back in the days when hunter-gatherers, right, like it can be one man, multiple women, or a woman will then all take care of each other's children, because it's like better survival rate, right, if everyone contributes.
Okay.
But then comes organized religion, which I'm not anti-religion, like I'm a Buddhist, right? I have a religious affiliation. At the same time, organized religion also presents purity culture. Purity culture has a lot to do with, women needs to be pure. Like women cannot, it's to control women. Women cannot have sex before marriage. Women need to do this. Women need to do that. Women can't do this. Women can't do that, right? They need to be pure, like a Virgin Mary, right? Present that purity culture. And if they lose their quote unquote virginity before getting married, they're worthless, right? They're sluts. They're bad women. They're not worthy. They're not wife material, right? Like women get so much shit from just like sexually exploring. But men, they don't, because here's why. Like even back in the days, but even now, men are religious leaders. Right? Men are the people that came up with these ideas and say like, listen, when women do this, it's bad. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Women did not come up with that. If it was a woman religious leader, she would be like, fuck whoever you want. Like have all the orgasms. Have fun. Right? Be safe, but have fun. Like, of course not. It's to control women, but now also men, because a lot of men feel pressure to be in a monogamous relationship when in fact their orientation is non-monogamous. And now I do want to talk about it as orientation. I don't necessarily I don't say that everyone's non-monogamous.
Right. Okay.
But I do say that a lot of people are, and they're in denial. Like
well,
they're
how would I
trying to
know?
force it.
How would you know if you're monogamous or not?
The very first sign for you is that you have cheated on all your partners.
Well, I haven't, so thank God.
Yeah. Well, if you have cheated on all your partners, you're non-monogamous. You're just trying to fit yourself in a monogamous box and keep just betraying yourself and your partners.
Wow.
Yeah. If you have and you have those desires, look into it. Look into how to have ethical non-monogamy.
Okay, before we go into ethical non-monogamy, because I'm really confused by that statement, tell me the other signs that I need to look out for to know if I'm naturally non-monogamous or not.
Mm-hmm. So first off, like if you have cheated on all your partners or some of your partners, like that's a big sign. Second, if you feel like you're in a relationship, but you still feel this like desire to explore and get to know new people in a romantic way or even in a sensual, sexual way, even without penetration, just like you crave.
Right.
Yeah, that I think that's a really good second sign. The third sign is you have the idea of like compersion, like you feel good watching your partner have pleasure and connection with someone else.
How would you know that if you've never done that?
If you've never done it, like if your partner is talking to let's say an opposite sex and she's laughing, she looks like she's enjoying it, and you watch that and you go like, wow, like I love that for her. Instead of like jealousy or possessiveness. Yeah. Then yeah. So there are clear signs.
Okay, so you mentioned something here. You crave like talking to other people, maybe not in a penetration way, but this sentence that you just said, crave, right? I've heard a lot of people bitch about other women and men and say he just craves female attention. She just craves male attention as if it's a bad thing. You're saying it's actually not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
But is it not? If you're happy with someone, right? And this is where we're going to disagree, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
If you're happy with someone, why are you out there craving someone else's attention? Like, is it not enough for you to be in a relationship with that person?
No.
But then why are you with them?
Because here's the thing. If you have 3 children, do you love them all the same?
That's different. Because they're part of you.
But that's like the construct that you came up with, right? Like who says you can't love? Do you love three of your best friends the same?
No.
Oh, well, then you have hierarchy. Then you love one of your friends more than the others, right? Like for people that have non-monogamous orientation, they're able to love and care for multiple people at different rates and intensity, but it's all upfront and communicated and agreed upon by everybody. And I think that's the beautiful part is everyone is on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that, let's say I have this amount of love, right? And I say, I've met my husband and this is all the love, now that's gone. What you're saying is like, I have this amount of love and I've met someone and it's this. So I'm open to meeting someone else because I have this much more love to give.
I think love is infinite. Like love is in abundance.
I do kind of agree on that.
Yeah, it's not just like 1 to 10, right? Like there's millions and millions points of love. And you can love your best friends, your children, your husband, your lover, your parents. Like there's just so much love in the world when we are not restricted by social norms. We get to live our truth. Then that's when you're the happiest and most fulfilled. And that's how you serve your community the best, is when you are happiest and fulfilled. And if that's through monogamy, good for you, do that. But if that's through non-monogamy, good for you, try that. So for me, it's like, it's either way, but the best is to live your truth.
Okay, but the question I have here is, how can you feel safe in a non-monogamous relationship? Because I understand what you're saying. There is enough love to go around. And I actually do believe, by the way, that you can probably love more than one other person. I do understand that. I can understand it. I would say, though, that I've never experienced loving two people at the same time in the same way. So I have loved someone as my friend and I've loved someone enough to like care for them and I've loved someone romantically. But have I loved two people romantically at the same time? No. And I would always feel like I had to choose if I did. And if I did, I would have to decide who's number one and who's number two. I don't think I've ever had like an equal split ever in my whole life. Now that's personal experience and I'm not saying I'm the queen of the Lord, but you know, what I'm saying is that if you are in a non-monogamous relationship and you've got 3 partners, let's say, and you're saying, I love them all equally, if one of them pisses you off, can't just be like, screw you and I'm going to the other person. There's no like safety or security. It's just like, I'll move on to the next.
But if someone pisses you off constantly, why would you be in a relationship with that person?
But this is what I mean. It's like we've kind of just thrown out, like it's just like a disposable culture we live in. Like you're no longer there. Like being with someone for a long time is hard work.
It is.
It is hard work. You know, you've got to have, and being with a friend for a long time is hard work.
But being with someone a long time in a non-monogamous relationship is also really hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to first distinguish because you said love a lot.
Yes.
In non-monogamy, there's variations of relationships, right? Like my partner and I are like, we're committed partners. We are emotionally monogamous and we're together, but we're allowed to have sex with other people.
Got it.
And that's the hierarchy, isn't it? Like this is my primary partner. So in a way, the way you talk about like, let's say your fiance, right? Like I have that as well.
With him, because you love him.
Yeah, but I love him dearly.
So you love him, but you're allowed to sleep with other people.
Yeah,
and
like
that's not love.
That is not love in a sense. That is deep romantic love.
Yes.
But it is like I do love and care for the people that I spend time with. And whether it's sexual or non-sexual. Like I love the same way I love my best friend.
Yeah.
But I have sex with them too. But yeah, it's or if we go to a sex party and we have sex with like, let's say another couple, we still like, we love them. And like, we still care about how they feel, care about their well-being. We take care of them. Like there's still a lot of loving feelings and caring feelings within this container. But yeah, I have a partner and that's my partner.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my life partner. So this is our setup though, which is different.
Yes.
It's different. So we're in a monogamish.
What's a monogamish? And how is that different from non-monogamy?
So it is non-monogamy. So here's the umbrella. This is a good one. The umbrella term for all non-monogamy is just called E&M, ethical non-monogamy.
Okay.
Within ethical non-monogamy, there's many different types. For example, polyamory. Polyamory is what you just talked about, loving multiple people and being in a relationship with all of them. That's polyamory. Many of my friends are in polyamory. They even live together. They all
How many? Give me an example.
4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they have a relationship with each other. And even within polyamory, there's different types as well. There's like kitchen table poly. There's hierarchical poly. There's like V-shaped poly.
What's that?
Just kitchen table is like everyone like together. Everyone takes care of like the bills together, live together, cook and eat together, and enjoy things together, and even have children and raise them together.
Okay.
So like a commune.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's hierarchical where there's like my primary, my secondary, and my comet, which is like kind of come and go.
Oh.
So there's different types of poly, but that's poly. That's like when you have multiple relationships that you like maintain. And then within ethical non-monogamy, there's also monogamish, where people have a primary partner and that's their partner, but then they're allowed to have sexual relations or with other people.
Got it.
And
that's
then
what
there's
you have.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's swinging.
Yes.
Yeah, swingers. So there's swinging. This is where couples have sex with other couples.
Only other couples.
Yes.
Oh, so swinging isn't like we're going to a swingers bar and you go with her and you go with him.
No.
Interesting. I
Swingers
didn't know
only
that.
swing with other couples.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, I mean, there's also like people that are in like, you know, dom-sub relationships, things like that. That's like within E&M as well. But in general, people in this lifestyle say that if they meet new people and they just say they're E&M and it's understood.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, and when you get closer, like you become better friends, then you explain like what sort of E&M you're in.
So you don't tell people immediately what E&M you're in?
No,
Yeah.
because it's like a lot of times people, like they just need to know your E&M.
Okay. I want to come back to the swinging part and monogamish in a minute. But for now, I want to go back to the first question I asked you, which is ethical non-monogamy. What does ethical non-monogamy mean?
So go back to monogamy description from like scientific definition, right?
Correct.
Meaning have sex with one person, right? Therefore, non-monogamy means have sex with multiple people.
Yes.
Right? But cheating, have sex with multiple people, right? Cheating is also non-monogamy, but it's unethical. Cheating is unethical. You hurt someone, you betray them, you create secrecy, right? You betray them emotionally.
Right.
So non-monogamy, when we say non-monogamy, it includes these people that cheat.
Got it.
So to be upfront and honest and communicative, you are in an ethical non-monogamy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are your thoughts on if someone said to you, your partner doesn't think you're enough, which is why you have to sleep with other people? Because I think what you said before in terms of how do I define if I'm non-monogamous? Yeah. I think a lot of people who are probably watching or listening to this are thinking, I've cheated on every single one of my partners, right? Or I think I might be, or I'm open to exploring. But, you know, if I turn around and tell my girlfriend or my wife or my husband that, they're going to say, so I'm not enough for you. And that feeling of not enough is an insecurity that many people have. How do you overcome that?
First, work on yourself. Like have a really, really secure attachment style and have a really high self-worth and self-esteem. You don't need another person to validate your value. Like if you need someone to tell you you're worthy, then the problem is you.
Wow.
Yeah. If you need a husband to consistently tell you that you're a worthy woman, your problem is you. You don't need anyone. You can exist on your own, just the way you came into this life from your mom's vagina on your own. And know that you're worthy, that you're amazing, that you're the shit. You don't need a man or just another person to consistently affirm you that. It's nice to have an affectionate relationship where they give you affirmations and love languages, right? But you shouldn't need that in order to have value or worth. So for me, when people say like, oh, but I feel like I'm not enough. Well, that's sort of your issue that you need to work through. You don't need this other person to consistently show you that you're enough. Because you are.
How would you advise someone to work through that?
Work on self-esteem. Oh, there's so many different practices. I really love journaling. I journal on what I'm thankful for, why I'm amazing. Right now, like 3 bullet points. Right, like I'm amazing because I'm a great friend. I'm amazing because I'm a caring teacher. I'm amazing. Just every single day, just literally drill it into your brain every single day. And research in positive psychology shows that journaling, a thankful journal, can really help shift your mindset. So that's the first method. The second method I do that I've learned a long time ago, also through like Joe Dispenza and people that do a lot of like long meditations, which I can't do. I don't do 4-hour meditations, but I do meditations regularly, and I visualize a confident person who's secure and self-assured and show up at places exuding good positive energy. Like visualize the person that you want to become. So that's the second method. The third method is through coaching and therapy. When you get a really good like confidence coach or a really good therapist, 'cause not all therapists are good. I've had terrible therapists. But if you get a really good therapist or a coach for confidence, a self-esteem coach, you can really kind of work through their methodologies. And that can also be really empowering to just have someone to like help you get to the spot where you're comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
I think the fourth one was also like based on research is consistently achieving small goals. So set small goals and consistently achieving them, because then you feel like, oh wow, I'm capable. And the sense of capability builds your self-esteem.
I always tell people that when you're setting goals, the biggest mistake we make is we don't set the systems up for success. So you'll tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 hours a day. But you haven't realized in those 2-3 hours you have every day, you've got to do the laundry and the cooking and the washing and the cleaning and whatever, all those things. So then you don't do those things and you say, I'm not good enough, instead of I didn't plan enough time to do the thing I wanted to do.
Love that.
And it's just so frustrating to me when people come to me and say, I'm not good enough. I'm like, no, your system isn't good enough. Your
I love that.
organization isn't good enough.
Yeah.
You yourself are good enough.
Yes.
So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's true, right? Like at the end of the day, everything is systems, organizing, time management. You can do anything when you have those skills.
100%. How much of a big part do you think self-worth has to do with being monogamous or non-monogamous?
I think it plays a big role. I think it plays a really big role. Many people on this earth walking around with really low self-worth and self-esteem, and they hold on to the idea of possessing someone, owning them. They're never leaving me. I need them in my life to justify me existing. That's sort of how the world works for some people. And I think it plays a big role. It's really not easy. I would just say it's hard to be in E&M if you have low self-worth. Because then you consistently feel like you're not enough and that no one loves you. And, it's a bad feeling.
What's the stats in terms of population of people that are E&M and monogamous?
Well, that's reported. Because there are a lot that are not reported, but I would say about 15%.
15?
Depends on the studies, like on countries, and some can say like 5, 10, 15, but I think it's about 15. 15%. But I think it's underreported.
Really? Okay, now talk to me about how you think someone should go about having a conversation with their partner. I mean, you're Asian, right? I'm South Asian. If my parents probably having a heart attack that I'm even doing this podcast with you right now. My mom's probably turned it off by now. My dad's like not even clicked on the title. It's just like I can't deal with it. But, if I were to go to my parents and say, by the way, my partner and I were E&M. First of all, they'd be like, what the hell does that mean? But secondly, I think they would drop dead. I think, honestly, they would be so ashamed and so embarrassed and feel so uncomfortable that I was saying that I didn't want to just be with my partner. How do people approach that conversation?
But can I ask a question? Yeah. Why would they feel ashamed?
Because they would think it's not like purity, like that. Also, it's just...
So they have misguided beliefs on what purity is and what is a worthy human is.
It's more the fact that I think it's not seen as normal.
Okay.
It's not normal, is it?
So they're close-minded.
Yeah, but also I guess, like, I also, if someone came to me, like I have a couple of friends, by the way, who are not in non-monogamous relationships, but they swing or they go to sex parties, right? Now, I think, great, good for you. But I would never be able to do that.
Right.
And I think that if my child came to me and said, my child, by the way, you're not like a friend. But if my child said to me, I'm going to a sex party this weekend, I think I would be a bit freaked out by it.
Yeah?
And I know that is a bit closed-minded.
What if it's very empowering and they're being safe?
What does being safe mean?
Just taking care of themselves physically and emotionally?
Describe that more to me. What do you mean?
So they get tested, they make sure the party they go to is legitimate, nice, and people there are super interesting and intellectual, and they build these really amazing connection, and they're being safe. And they're happy and they feel empowered and fulfilled. Isn't that the goal of being a parent? And not
Well, I guess I'm not a parent, so I can sneak out of this question right now.
And not trying to have them fit into a box.
Look, I'm all about everyone not fitting into boxes, right?
Right. But a lot of what you talk about are boxes.
I was just going to say, but I just feel, I don't know why it makes me feel so uncomfortable. I just couldn't.
But that's okay. I think feeling uncomfortable is totally okay. And I welcome it.
Yes.
That's okay because it's the only thing you know in life.
Exactly.
Is monogamy. The only thing, right? And the only thing your parents know or your cousins partner, and your family.
Yeah.
And but who knows? Maybe all of them have cheated on their partners. You don't know.
This is a very interesting point about cheating. I think cheating is a bit more different though. The reason I tell you why. Going to a sex party is just like you're just casually sleeping with somebody. And it's really interesting actually, as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing how much emotion I have in everything. Like I've said love so many times. In my head, cheating is like an emotional thing. Like cheating emotionally would upset me more than somebody just cheating and having a one-night stand. Like I could forgive. I really hope my partner's not like, great, woo, I'm gonna go out.
One night stand, she will forgive me.
She'll forgive me. But in my head, cheating emotionally would upset me more.
So that's exactly what research found. Research found that women find emotional infidelity significantly more hurtful than sexual infidelity.
And men?
Men, the other way around. They feel women that engage in sexual infidelity a lot more of a betrayal than emotional infidelity.
Why?
Very simple. So for the longest times, right, like men evolutionarily have to spread seeds in order to carry the species forward. So women are sort of ingrained with like, oh, but men, like, this is what men do.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, like this is what men do.
Yeah.
Right? That's why there's a lot of happy ending massages for men and not women.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
true.
what men do, right? Like it's all sort of a main narrative in our culture and society, regardless of religion or countries. That's why women don't rate it as hurtful, as emotional. Because what emotional infidelity signals to the woman is now my man is giving resources and attention to another woman. It's not just a one-night stand. It's not a happy ending massage. It's he's giving resources and attention to another woman, which is why it's significantly more threatening.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
So our upbringing is actually a very, very big, important part to this, which I'm sure. What was your upbringing like?
I grew up in Thailand, Bangkok, big city. Grew up with very amazing parents, had very loving childhood. I think there is a misconception about Thailand based on Hollywood movies. Whenever I say I'm from Thailand and I'm a sexologist, people are like, oh, that makes sense. Like Thailand's all about like sex tourism. I'm like, yeah, but that's just for foreigners. So what happens is like Thai culture for people that were born and raised there, and they will agree with me on this, is very sexually conservative, extremely conservative. But we have created sex tourism and all of that for our GDP. It's just for foreigners. So what's portrayed in a movie like Hangover, like that's not our culture. That's the way white people perceive it. That's the way they come in and participate in these like ping pong show, right? Women shooting ping pongs from their vaginas. That's made for foreigners. It's not made for us. And if we go, it's sort of shameful. So I grew up in a very sexually conservative and shameful culture, especially for young girls. And I went to an all-girls school, all-girls Catholic school.
Wow.
So a lot of layers in terms of understanding like my worth as a girl and a woman, and also understanding like how to build agency and present myself in a way that is not just like a submissive woman that does everything for her man.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't want that. I see a lot of that in my culture. Like I see a lot. Women that just exist for their husband and their children. And they forgot their own womanhood. Like before you became a wife and a mother, like you're a girl, like you're just a woman and you have needs and you have desires and you have this vibrancy. And a lot of moms I notice is they lose their vibrancy because they disconnect with their womanhood, which is really like, the sacral chakra or like the groin, right? Like the pelvic area. They stop prioritizing their pleasure. They don't masturbate. They don't take care of their sexual wellness, which in turns like affect their whole aura. And that's what I've witnessed. And I hate seeing that. I think it's really sad.
So how did you shift from kind of growing up in this really conservative background to now being where you are today? And how did you like have that conversation with your parents and your friends? Because they know you as this very conservative girl and now you're online telling everyone to have 5,000 orgasms every day.
Yes, 5,000 minimum. Oh, I love an orgasm. I had one just before I came here. But it's a really long journey. So to make it shorter, I went to high school in Finland, and that was the first time I experienced other culture in an immersive way, and also different perception of nudity, which really changed the way I perceive a lot of things. Because in Thailand, like being nude is like so taboo. But in Finland, Scandinavia in general, they get naked all the time to go into saunas. Like multi-generation, like your grandparents, your parents, your kids, like everyone goes into the sauna naked. So they don't care. They practice what is called body neutrality, right?
Okay.
Bodies are just bodies. Like don't sexualize things. You get naked and you go into the sauna. So for me, that was like, whoa, everyone's naked. What the hell? From Thailand, right? Like an all girls school. Right now I'm at co-ed school, like men, boys and girls, right? So for me, that really sort of the start of my mind opening up to like, wow, what else is in the world? Because if this is like so different, then what else is in the world? And then I moved to the United States, right, where I did my higher education and I finished my PhD in the United States. And through that journey, which is a long journey, I just learned so much about how different cultures perceive love, relationship, dating, cheating, and sex. And I think through that, I became a lot more competent in looking at sex and relationship from multicultural perspective.
Right.
I always call myself as like a cross-cultural sex and relationship specialist because I've lived like around the world and, you know, have dealt with a lot of people from different cultures and beliefs. So I am very tolerant. Like if people behave significantly differently from me, they believe different things from me, I'm very tolerant and I can see that as long as they're happy, I'm happy for them.
Right.
But if they're not, I'm here to help, share a different perspective and see maybe this works better for you. And that's sort of why I exist, really. Like the next 40, 50 years before I die is like, I'll just be talking about this every single day. But yeah, I lived everywhere and now I'm here in London for Celebs Go Dating and it's also a new culture. Brits are sort of like a little bit more prudish than people in LA.
Yes.
But at the same time, there are pockets of London that are very, very kinky. Very. Lots of sex parties in London.
I have heard there's loads of sex parties.
Loads.
Okay, I want to go back now to talking about swingers and sex parties. It's really interesting you tell me this, by the way, because if people are still watching to this part, I have heard that there are people in my community, in the Indian community, that are swingers. And they put their like keys into a bowl at the end of the night and they'll pick up a set of keys and whoever's keys they pick up, they'll go to that person's house and, you know, have a great night. What's so interesting about that to me is that, especially from people I know who are like Indian, and I don't know who these people are. I don't know if this is a rumor and I don't know if this is a joke, but like someone told me once, like, did you know that like people do this? And,
it
like,
exists.
And I know that some people do that in real life. So I was just like, I kind of would expect it does. I kind of watched this show on Channel 4. I think it was called Swingers. Yeah, it was called Swingers.
Or Open House.
Oh, I haven't watched that. It was called Swingers. And I remember watching it thinking, oh my God, I cannot believe that like these places and houses and hotels exist.
Yeah.
So then when I was told about this key story, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that exists. Now, I know a lot of people would be mortified, right? If they were kind of caught doing this stuff. Like, I don't think anyone would openly say it. But what's interesting to me is that people want to participate, which is why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I do think that you are right in some way that there are people who really want to break free, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me a bit about swingers and talk to me the difference between swingers and sex parties.
It can be different, but it can also be intertwined.
Okay.
So there are swinger sex parties where they would like couple up or like swap but okay, let's start with swingers. Swingers also have a different sign. If you ever see it, it's upside down pineapple.
Outside the house?
Yeah. So if they have like a pineapple outside their house or even like in the house, if they have like furniture or decoration that's like upside down pineapple, they're swingers.
Oh my God, I have a pineapple in my family home.
They're swingers.
No. We have a pineapple in our house and the lid broke. So like the top, well, I don't know if it's upside down still, but the lid broke. Oh God, I'm going to check when I go home.
Well, your parents are swingers. Congratulations.
This is how rumors start.
Yeah. But so yeah, swingers
My ex-boyfriend
typically
actually bought me that pineapple. So I know that it's definitely not theirs. It's mine. I left there.
Yeah. And a lot of people buy them, they don't know. But it is a sign in the community.
Wow.
So swingers typically swing with their partners. They have sex with another couple. They usually like meet up. They go get like dinner and drinks and sort of get like build rapport, get acclimated and like flirt with each other as a group. And then they go back to like one couple's house and, you know, initiate from there. The rules can differ. Like the rules can differ from some swingers do like, oh, we do everything together. Like I must be in the room. Like if you're gonna play with that
right.
girl, I must be in the room. But some swingers also don't do that. They're like, okay, like me and this guy can be like getting a drink. We can be making drinks in the kitchen at the bar, and you and the woman can like go to the bedroom first and get started. Like some people do that. So many different variations of rules, whatever you feel comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, whether they're swingers, poly, or just monogamish or E&M, in the E&M community, it's all about communication and consent. All about communication and consent. Huge in consent. Everyone talks about everything up front, and they still check with their partners throughout the night.
Right.
Yeah, lots of checking. So,
but can that not get blurred? Because I have had a friend, by the way, who has that has got blurred. They were drinking, and she said, "Are you okay with this?" And he was just like, I can't remember what happened exactly, but there was a miscommunication. Then he was really annoyed because he said he wasn't okay with it, and she was really annoyed because she thought that it was, and then they broke up. So that can get a bit blurry, no?
Yeah, and just like the way monogamous couples have miscommunication all the time and fighting all the time and bickering all the time, like the same thing. Non-monogamous people also do that. At the end of the day, it's not about the relationship type, is it? It's about the communication skills of the people. True. If you're in a non-monogamous relationship, you really need to up your communication level because it needs a lot of communication and affirmations and things like that. Now, sex parties can be this similar to a swingers party where it's sex parties just for couples, but then there's also just sex parties for everyone. And let's say I went to one recently called Dominion Vita, and it's in London. It's in the city. It was actually hosted at Proud. Beautiful like clubs. So when you walk in, the first room is like the club room. So there's a DJ, people dancing, there's a bar, people get drinks. And then when you walk inside, there's an orgy room where like people have sex, and you can have sex with just your partner. You can also like try to see if you can consensually initiate sex with other people. And then there's also an exhibition room where you have sex and like people can watch and they film it and they send the video to you because you love to exhibit.
Stop it. But then like that video can go anywhere, no? People can put it on
so that
OnlyFans.
video is just for that person.
How do you know? Can't someone just take out their phone and film it?
No. That's
sorry.
a big part that we should talk about. No phones at sex parties ever. Yeah, no phones. So some companies like Kinky Rabbit, they will lock your phones outside. Like they literally have like a phone lock outside before you enter the property. Some companies do like the unremovable block on it, and then they click out when they leave. Some do like stickers on it, but no phones ever at sex parties. Yeah, that's why you don't really see footage, or else you would see them everywhere. No, but you don't. Yeah, I had sex right next to a really big Hollywood star in LA, and of course, like I tell people like it doesn't matter. There's no phone. There's like no proof. But that's the beauty. I can't tell you.
You can tell me after though, can't you?
Maybe.
Okay, off camera.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all later.
A really tall guy.
If you subscribe, I'll tell you. Have you ever seen somebody who has said they were in a monogamous relationship at a sex party?
Yeah, lots.
What happens then?
Even when my partner and I were monogamous, because we open and close depending on the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Talk to me about that.
So when we first met, we were both non-monogamous. Like I was non-monogamous already, and I would tell him like, here's my life. Like, look it up.
Yeah.
And he loved it and wanted to participate in it, wanted to build a relationship together. And there's so much love between us and interest. So we did that. But then the first like year and a half, we were monogamous. So we closed it. We're like, let's not see other people. Let's not have sex with other people for now, so that we build a really strong foundation. And then we started going to sex parties after like a year and a half of being together. So we took the time to just be together. And then we explore sexually when we're ready.
Do you think that was important to do that?
It can be. I think it was right for us. But it's not necessarily for everybody. Some people are way more seasoned than us. Like I know people in their late 40s that have been non-monogamous since they were like 25. So they're way more experienced emotionally, mentally, right? Like, yeah, like I'm still, intermediate
Okay.
level. I'm sure, if one day we decide to like have children, we'll close it for a while to build that like little nest. And then
Got it.
when we're more free, have more free time, then we'll like explore it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot actually of monogamous couples at sex parties because they just want to go for vibes. They want to go watch.
What would you do if it was one of your friends and you knew?
Love it. I mean, a lot of my friends have seen me have sex.
No. What would you do if it was your best friend who was in a relationship with this guy? They said that they were monogamous, but he was at a sex party.
Oh, alone?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, then I would tell my friend.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm saying like, have you ever experienced that story where it's like, oh gosh.
not a couple.
Fine, no, not a couple, yeah.
Oh, no.
Because that would be like quite scary and that would be
that would be
difficult.
a betrayal.
Yeah, it'd be a betrayal.
Unless you told them beforehand. Unless you're
Right.
like, hey, babe, I want to go to this sex party. I'm not going to do anything with anyone. I just want to go see it. Then fine. It's communication and trust, right?
What's your opinion on porn? Because it's the same thing, isn't it? Or is it not?
What do you mean?
Like going to a sex party and watching someone or watching porn. Is it the same thing or no? It's not?
No. Oh my God. Sex
Why?
parties are amazing. Like they're
Why?
so erotic. And it's like something about being face to face and in a space with people having like raw, passionate, hot, multi-orgasmic sex. It's incredible. It's so much better than porn.
What's the difference?
It's in real life. Like if someone's fucking right here,
I
right now, wouldn't
see.
you think it's different?
Don't know. Not sure how I feel. I'd be like
come
dying.
on, Luke.
I really want to ask you, if someone's watching or listening to this right now and they're thinking, I really want to have a conversation with my partner, but I know that they're not open to it. But I love them so much, but I know that they're going to say, nope, this is not for me. What should they do?
They should get a non-monogamy coach.
Oh,
It is
really?
hard to have this sort of conversation by yourself, especially if you've been traditional for a long time.
Mm.
This change is a big change. And whenever we have big changes in life, we hire people to do it, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, why not get, when I started my business, I hired a business coach. So when you want to start a non-monogamous relationship or restart, I guess, your relationship, why not hire a non-monogamy coach?
What would you say you're a non-monogamy coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who just can't push past the stigma or the judgment or the fear of losing everyone that they love in their life because they want to have a non-monogamous relationship?
Mm-hmm. I really would encourage them to work through and audit the people in their lives that they would lose for them for being authentic, happy, and fulfilled. If they don't want you to be authentically you, happy and fulfilled, do you want them in your life?
Or what if it's like your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister?
Sometimes people lose those people. And it's hard to say. It's hard to say, especially Asians. Like
Right.
we're tight family unit.
Yeah.
But if your parents have these strict limiting belief about how relationships should be regardless of your own mental health and wellness, maybe they don't deserve to be an active part of your life.
But what if then you're going to be totally alone? You're going to have zero and no
You
one.
won't, because you'll meet so many friends, and friends are your family, like the family that you choose. You meet so many people that are supportive, that are loving, that just want you to thrive and without their own judgment on you. And that's the people you want in your life. You want to build a beautiful garden, right? So you want to make sure you're a fountain and you're exuding positivity and self-assurance, and you bring things to the table. When you build a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come.
Yeah.
I have amazing, incredible people in my life, and I curate it that way. There's no negativity that's like, of course, you can have a bad day and you will vent to me and I'll be there and support you. But I make sure that I only build this garden and the butterflies, and I protect it. So it's the same thing. If you become non-monogamous, you realize like, oh shit, I am non-monogamous. Now that I've listened to this, I do have these tendencies and I want to live my truth and be more authentic. And if you feel like you'll lose your best friend, or then they're not your best friend. Your best friend would be tolerant and just want you to be happy.
That's actually a very fair point. I want to talk to you about this new common phrase that everyone's saying: high value women, high value men. What are your thoughts on being a high value woman? How would you define a high value woman?
I wouldn't even define it. I think it's very misogynistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a misogynistic way to think about it, because every single person is valuable in their own way.
Yeah, agree.
So when you say someone's high value, do you mean the other person is
Low.
low value?
Yeah.
Like, And who are you to judge? Are you
Yeah.
much better than us?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
So people that use that narrative, especially on the internet, tend to be the people that I don't necessarily associate myself with.
I've seen that phrase so much, like high value women. Because
The
a lot of
first time I saw it was through Andrew Tate. And where is he now?
exactly,
In prison.
exactly, yeah, him. Exactly.
Not a great example.
No, but there's also there is a narrative around that, right? Being a high value woman, and I agree with you. I actually think it's quite judgy and misogynistic, and we've also said like women should be doing this and women should be doing that, and it's all around serving men. So I do, but I'm trying to challenge you in every possible way of people who are watching and listening to this, thinking, how can somebody be respectable? This is the word that is a lot used in our cultures. How can someone be respectable if they're just throwing themselves at everyone, or if they're easy to get? That's another word that people say.
So first off, they're not throwing themselves at everyone. It's actually quite hard to find a connection in E&M.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you protect that connection so much because people don't just go and open their legs and have sex with everybody. Like, and in E&M, I think that's a big misconception.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pre-work. Like, there's a lot of talking and flirting and courting in a way that's even better than monogamous people going to clubs and having one-night stands. Like lots of monogamous people do that all the time. Every single night in London, there's single people at clubs picking someone up at home, have sex with them and ghost them. That's not respectable to me.
Right.
E&M people like meeting each other, finding a connection, go get drinks, talk, learn about each other, then have passionate connective sex. I think that's quite respectable. So I think shifting your mindset about what is actually respectable in life. Is it superficial things or is it an actual like human connection and value and not value and worth, like how you feel about yourself, will really help you expand your mind and become more tolerant towards people that are not like you.
I think the biggest thing and the most important thing that you've told me throughout this whole podcast is 75% of people cheat. And it's disrespectful to cheat, but it's respectful if you're in an open relationship or in a non-monogamous relationship to be like, by the way, just to let you know, I am somebody who likes to do those things. Are you on the same page? Yes, you are. Great. Then we're both on the same page. I think the difficulty comes as if one person is
not.
And the other person loves them so much. And then it just feels like they are not enough because that other person needed more. And I can understand from that perspective why that person is so sad. And I think for a lot of people, it's better for them not to know than them to know that the partner is cheating.
Yeah.
I've known people who are very happy to just not accept that their partner is cheating. And they are just living in their bubble and they're like, he can do what he wants. And I'm okay with that. I personally would not be okay with that. I'd rather know than not know. And that's why I also think this conversation around non-monogamy is opening up because there's a lot of people who are saying, I'd rather know rather than just hide myself from the truth and also not know how we can work on it together. What's the one belief that you wish you knew earlier about non-monogamous relationships?
The one belief that I wish I knew earlier about non-monogamous relationship is that it's completely normal. Yeah, because in my 20s, I have cheated on all my boyfriends and felt really, really, really bad about myself. And like, oh, I'm just a bad person. I'm a bad person. And that's just what I consistently do without knowing that there is a different way to be and to live and to exist and to be honest and to communicate with your partner that that's not my orientation. But I didn't know back then. So yeah, living with guilt and shame for a long time was not fun. And I wish I had known earlier that it is normal to be non-monogamous as also normal to be monogamous.
True.
Both normal.
The guilt and shame part is actually such a big part people don't talk about because it's so true when you say that. Like if you were cheating every time, you were probably thinking like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a bad
trust
person.
Trust me, I talked to my therapist when in my 20s, like throughout my 20s, my main question for my therapist is what's wrong with me? And at the time, I didn't have a sex positive therapist who was informed of different relational dynamics. So she's just like, well, let's heal you then. Like let's just have sex with this one person. Like made me feel worse. But yeah, I've always questioned myself what's wrong with me until I found that, oh wow, like there's lots of people that are naturally non-monogamous and I'm one of them.
I love that. I actually think you can apply that to so many other things in life.
Yeah.
So often we blame ourselves and think, what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? And you hate yourself. You just hate every single part of you until you actually think differently about a different lifestyle or a different change you can make. And you realize it was never you. It was the box you were trying to fit yourself in.
Yeah.
So
love that.
love that, what you've just said. And, whilst you may not have changed my mind, you've definitely opened my mind. And I think this is a conversation that I will be having. And, not with my partner, by the way, just in case my parents are like, oh my God.
With friends.
But no, I think it's a good conversation to open up. And I think, whilst I think it's not right for me, I do totally understand why it's right for you.
Yeah.
And everyone deserves to be happy. Like, you're happy in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm happy in mine. And there's not you have to, in order to be happy, you have to only do this.
Yeah.
And
you
in
have
order
to be like me to be happy.
Of course, everyone's allowed to be different. So I love
that's
it.
why we have religious wars, right? For thousands of years, people say you need to be like me.
Yes.
And we have billions of people. Nobody needs to be like anybody.
100%.
Yeah. And I love
agree.
that you said that, because really my goal isn't propaganda. I'm not trying to make people non-monogamous.
Right.
You already are or you're not.
Yes.
It's like you were born this way.
Right.
So if you are, I'm here to tell you that you're normal and you're okay.
Yeah. And
Just start the process. And if you're not, I'm happy for you too.
Yeah.
Have a happy monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm just here to be a resource for people, regardless of whether they're monogamous or non-monogamous, because a lot of monogamous people can learn from non-monogamous
100%.
skills, like
100%.
communication, honesty, how to navigate jealousy, how to navigate wanting to perhaps connect with another person because we're missing desires in our relationship.
Yes.
So for me, it's just helping people have a better, more fulfilling relationship. That's all.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on. And I will see you in LA.
Have an orgasmic day.